All right. Hello and welcome, everyone. So before we get into today's video, we have a sponsor for today's video, and that sponsor is The Ridge. As you probably know from our previous spots, they make high-quality compact wallets out of metal and elastic, and I've used and loved them for years. But I've recently been fond of the premium Damascus steel style. If you'd like to get yours, you can head to ridge.com/Brozime and enter code Brozime for 10% off. And thanks so much to The Ridge for sponsoring us once again. All right. Hello and welcome, everyone. So today we have some updates regarding Regal Aya and how now pretty much they did the thing and Regal Aya is much better now. But there's some other little bits to discuss here. This video should be rather short. So basically, a few hours ago, 4 hours ago, Danielle posted this, which they were going to be doing the adjustments to the Regal Aya packs to include Platinum. Those are 3 Aya, 7 Aya, 15 Aya, as we've discussed before. The prices are identical, as we've discussed before, but they now include 200, 400, and 1200 Platinum, respectively. And while the 1200 Platinum on the 15 Regal Aya is slightly different from what we got on the Prime Vault, the value is now here. Like, this is now pretty much exactly equivalent, and then you of course have the bonuses that the system adds, which allow you to mix and match different things that you want to be a little more specific in what you're getting. With that, I think personally this is good now. Like, this is a better system than the regular unvaultings now at this point, with the addition of, the Platinum being on here. Of course, in my video going over how this could change to be better, I pretty much said exactly that. So of course I think this change is good, because I already thought that. But yeah, so that this is pretty much fixed at this point. Like, with this is live on all platforms. The messaging and information is not perfect everywhere, but personally that's fine, as long as the value is there, and I'm sure the messaging will just get better over time. Not a big deal. There are some things to talk about with this. First and foremost, it means that because these are now worth it, this is the best unvaulting that's ever happened, whether you want to spend money or not. I don't think that you personally should have any qualms about spending on this. Of course, would advise you to probably spend towards the cosmetics and then just do the farm for the gameplay items. But honestly, do what you want with your money. This is now the same as the unvaultings that we're used to, and those have been worth it for a variety of reasons for a long time. So, yeah. Go ham. For me personally, I'm going to buy all of the Noggles that I don't have yet, because I am dumb and want all of the bobbleheads that are Prime. But there are some other things that I want to talk about. First and foremost is some stuff that gets said here, which is building a new economy is tough, despite Prime Resurgence being a best-selling Vault debut. Which is, obviously we don't know how this is quantified, but that's super interesting. That it is apparently a best-selling Vault debut, because we don't know whether this means volume, or what this means, or that the player base is just higher, or where we're at. Because everything lately has been best-selling, which I guess is a good thing for DE, of course, between, Nidus being the best-selling Prime Access of all time, and now this being the best unvaulting of all time from their point. I guess that bodes pretty well for Warframe. But they decided to change it anyway, which is good. That's good for us that they just decided to change it anyway. That's great. That's what we all wanted, of course. But there's some things that get said in here that I think are worth talking about for them doing, future runs of the Prime Resurgence, and changes that they might opt to make in the future that I think would also be good. So, our intentions were always good monetization, but we have some learnings we'd like to share regarding intentions and executions when building an adjacent economy. We misunderstood what some players valued most in the prior Vault packs. Platinum, we stand by our initial reasoning that Regal Aya was a good value for players interested in flexibility. I don't think that reasoning holds any amount of water. Even if you just look at it from the flexibility standpoint, the flexibility was that you could bend it about 15 degrees, and that's not a lot of flexibility. Different than what we're really talking about here, though. But we now better understand what other factors our players consider when making purchasing decisions. The value of player purchase flexibility was justified by the sales, as this is our best debut to date, which is fair, and I suspect that it will only get much, much better with this change, but, But that honestly doesn't matter if there's a misalignment between us and the players who want to support us. We want Platinum, said many, but these aren't Platinum packs, we'd think. This is weird, because they've never thought this in the past. This has never been a previous thought. Like a Prime Access, you get a ton of platinum with it. Like, if you remove the platinum from the Prime Access, is it just the same price and the platinum has been a bonus all along? It's very weird to think that. If you were going to be spending money in Warframe, that would come with platinum. That has been the staple of a very long amount of time. Like, that's pretty much what happens. So this very weird line of thinking to come out of nowhere, basically. We don't want this event, which is aimed towards improving the unvaulting system, to be held back by our misstep on pack value and our rigid but well-intentioned thinking in separating the Regal Aya and Platinum currencies. So we have a change coming. So the change is as described as we talked about. So here's the thing. We don't want this event, which is aimed towards improving the unvaulting system, to be held back by our misstep on pack value and our rigid but well-intentioned thinking in separating Regal Aya and Platinum currencies. So they can still do this. Like, they can still absolutely separate Regal Aya and Platinum currencies, and that's very doable. Obviously, I think there's a variety of reasons why that might not have been possible this time, as simply running a script and giving people some platinum is probably a much easier thing to do than changing pricing on a bunch of storefronts. But that platinum makes up about half the value of a pack. So if they had opted to cut the price of Regal Aya on each pack in half, so it'd be, 10, 20, 40 instead of 20, 40, 80, that also, I think, would have made everyone happy. And I think there's an argument that would make people happier, like a good amount of people at least, because then we're talking about only having to spend $10 for some particular cosmetics that you want instead of having to spend 20. Like, there are definite bonuses to doing it that way. I think it's possible there's a variety of reasons they could not have done that, contractual agreements with the console manufacturers and stuff, and all that kind of, business that can get in the way of things. But if they wanted to do that in the future, that seems like that's a totally viable path forward to not having platinum in these packs and fully separating them. So I think that's a thing that we could possibly see in the future, and if that is a part of DE's goals, then I would love to know from you guys in the comments whether or not you think that is good, because for my point personally, I couldn't have any complaints about that, just like I don't really have any complaints about this. Like, with the platinum, I don't really have any complaints. This just seems like it's good value for players. There's, the new added flexibility and stuff. The event in game is very good. The farming is better than it's ever been. And that seems solid, but if they don't want to include the platinum, the other aspect to change is the price. But yeah, I'm curious to see what you guys think about that, because that's kind of where I am with it. But yeah, it's already rolled out. That's already out on here, and you can see even on like the Prime Resurgence page proper, it's already like messaged here appropriately, which is where I would think a lot of people would see this information. In game, I think it's not shown yet, but I haven't checked. But you do get the platinum. Also, for anyone that bought up front, they ran a script, and then you get it inboxed to you as they have an example shown here. So yeah, seems all good. I'm gonna go buy all the noggles that I'm missing. I'm glad that they fixed it. Good stuff. But yeah, I'm going to be streaming tonight. We're probably going to do a big redecorating of my ship using all the new decoration tools and stuff. And of course, the new Prime noggles I'm about to buy. But yeah, I will see you guys there, hopefully. And that's over on twitch.tv/Brozime. Goodbye.